Hello, my name is Michael, and today we will be talking about Fallout 4.
Where will you be when the atomic bombs fall?
Fallout is a post-apocalyptic RPG taking place in the ruins of the US after a catastrophic war that raged between America and China. While the game itself is set sometime during the 22nd or 23rd century, it heavily features settings from America's 1950s. While there is a lot to discover out in the new American wasteland, the series is focused mainly on the vaults. These bastions of pure-war technology and ideals are common starting places for the series' main characters. This plays to the idea that the protagonist of each game is a naive and sheltered spirit who is thrown out into the brutal outside world due to strenuous circumstances beyond the character's control, with the third and most influential installment featuring prominently a clearly personal drive. On top of that, there is the nature of the company who created these vaults. They seem to be using them as some sort of psychological and social testing ground, which has ended horribly on many occasions. But let's move on to the real part of the news. So you might be wondering, why are we talking about a game series whose last installment was back in 2010? Well, quite recently, news started to surface about a website called Survivor 2299, which released supposed information about Fallout 4 in the form of Morse code and ciphers. Kind of weird, I know. However, this site was recently debunked by its creator, DC Hoaxer, who explained that he created this site in an attempt to force Bethesda into releasing information about the new title during VGX. However, this proved futile when no such announcement was made. Apparently, the creator finally came clean about the hoax after he was personally contacted by Bethesda, but will not explain anything that was said to him. The site took him nearly $1,000 to make, and there was apparently a plan to spend even more money on a CGI trailer that he was going to release later on after the situation with Bethesda cooled down. Now this might seem even more bizarre about why we're even talking about this, however it's all related, I promise, because a series of game sites have come out with a series of casting scripts. These have brought out a plethora of new information about the previously unknown game. Not only did it give us the fact that the new title would be based in the ruins of Boston, but also a sneak peek at some of the new factions that would be populating this world. They're called the Commonwealth. While not much more information about them was released but the name itself, it's enough for speculation. Are we going to see the British encroaching into the American wasteland? Or maybe a faction that wants to break away from the US? Aside from that, they also quite clearly reference the Boston Institute. However, the biggest piece of news that comes from this is some background information on what is assumedly the main character waking up from cryostasis. Why is this so important, you may ask? Well, it raises the number of possibilities by a huge margin. Is the character back from a time before the wasteland existed? And how far back is that? Maybe it is even before the idea of nukes existed. Or is this a new form of vault, and if so, what's the point behind making it take such a form? We may have to wait a while before any of this information is affirmed, but in the meantime, it is an interesting snippet of what Fallout 4 could be. Well, that's all I have for Fallout news at the moment, but thanks for listening. This is Michael, signing off.